How do you solve any problem? The problem with problem is, first of all, not the problem itself. It is the definition that we give to the problem. And I've seen it in my colleagues. They come to me and say, oh, sorry, we cannot do this. And that becomes how they define that issue. It is not solvable. And because they've already defined that it is not solvable, they are not likely to ever be able to solve it. So how do you start to solve any problem? The first step, which we're going to mention today, is have the correct definition of the situation, not necessarily as a problem. So instead of saying this thing cannot be done, what you want to ask is, how can I solve this issue? And I keep saying it that the number one barrier when anything is too hard, when anything is too difficult, a major barrier is what? Is ignorance. It's because you don't know. Take for example, if somebody has a brain tumor, you are not a surgeon, right? You will find it difficult to do a brain surgery. But if you ask, how can I make sure that this operation is done? You have options. You now go back to medical school, specialize and become a neurosurgeon, and then you come and do the surgery. Or you ask yourself, who is a neurosurgeon that is around here? And a complex surgery suddenly becomes very simple to that guy who is a neurosurgeon. You can see how a change in the way we approach problems can solve it. So every time you actually come across a problem, the question you should ask is, one, how can I solve this problem? Two, since ignorance is the number one barrier to problem solving, what do I need to know so that I can solve it? Where can I get information to solve? If you ask those four questions, there's no problem in your life that will not be solved. Just ask, because you realize that ignorance is the biggest barrier to problem solving.